Hello, hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you a lot.
Awesome, awesome. How's everybody doing? See the chat's lively. Okay. All right, guys. So it's 3:30. People are gonna keep piling in, so let's just kind of get started. First of all, thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to come to our very first webinar. Apologize for the slight awkwardness. We'll be sure to do it better next time. But yeah, we're super excited to show you guys the what we've been working on and what we're developing with OpenFrame. So just as a quick agenda, basically, Michael, the CEO and founder, is going to show the product, how everything works, all the technical stuff behind the scenes. And then after that, we're going to do a Q&A where you guys are probably going to have tons of questions. And then at the very end, we'll have a little bonus that we're going to give out for those that stick around until the end. So yeah, for those that don't know who I am, my name is Vlad, head of marketing. I'm the guy that keeps sending you guys emails telling you just wait a little longer. The release is coming soon. But hopefully, you won't get any of those emails anymore. So I think I've done enough talking. I will let Michael take it away. And guys, let's leave questions until the end because I want to give this webinar a good flow. So please leave them to the end and we'll answer them in the order in which they were received. All right, Michael, go ahead, take it away.
Hey guys, good to have you here. Happy to see all those MSPs here. Almost 50 of you guys are here. Really pleasure to see the excitement. Thanks, Vlad, for the intro. I will start directly with short presentation. We're gonna go right into the demo as I finish the presentation. So please hold off a bit. Let me share it. Vlad, everyone can see my screen okay, right?
Yep, 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 yep.
Okay, cool. So met already a bunch of you guys, but for the ones who don't know me yet, my name is Michael Assraf. I'm the CEO and founder of Flamingo. We got a bunch of comments about our domain name, flamingo.cx. So rest assured that we're going to change it. Once we go live, we try to buy flamingo.com, but it's owned by Caesar Hotel in Las Vegas, and they're not really want to sell. So if anyone can mediate this deal, happy to connect. In short, what Flamingo wants to do, we want to change the MSP economics and help you guys increase your profit and provide better service for your customers. A little bit about the company and about myself. Flamingo is a US-based company. We are based in Miami Beach and Miami, Florida. We have our operation here, our servers are here. We'll talk later about security, etc. But we put a lot of emphasis about the fact that we are here and we don't send data outside of the country or anything similar. The open sources that we're going to touch in a second about exactly which open sources we use and how we validated are secure and the data that they're using is here with us. Also going to be discussed in a second. A bit about myself. This is my second startup. I started a cybersecurity startup around 10 years ago, a company called Vicarious, a vulnerability remediation business. Basically a one-stop shop for vulnerability assessment, prioritization, patching, scripting, automation, etc. Decided to move on from my previous business around a year ago. And when we started to operate more and more in the US, I started to work more closely with MSPs. Most of our US traction came from MSPs, and I started to learn more about the hurdles MSP have, the day-to-day operations, and how they manage to overcome it. All in all, I'm experienced with fundraising, etc. I raised for Flamingo 2.2 million from two US VCs, one here in Miami, Florida, and another one in San Francisco. We are a team of 15. Vast majority are engineers, maybe except of Vlad, another one or two people. The entire team is engineers. By the way, they are like from out of you guys that are part of OpenMSP Slack community. Most of the engineers are also part of OpenMSP Slack community, and some of you got to speak to them on our alpha deployments. So what's the problems that we're trying to solve here? So when I was kind of working with MSPs, I saw that there are two big expenses that are pretty hard to eliminate and to increase profits for MSPs, aside from the fact that they cause inefficiencies, etc. The first thing is that you guys use a lot of tools, and most of them are commercial tools. Most of them are tools that the vendors that like they haven't really been disrupted for many years because there was not a lot of VC money pouring into MSP tools. So they kind of sitting on milking cows and just raising the prices every now and then. We mapped out around 19 different tools that common MSP would use. Some of them use more, some of you guys use less, depends on how much services, how many services you guys are selling. But all in all, there's just a lot of tools. And on the one hand, you have customers demanding more services and more functionalities. And on the other hand, we have vendors increasing prices. So that's create tension. On the other hand, we have another big expense apart from the payouts. Like you guys sell on a per seat basis to your customers, and every seat that you sell, a bunch of it goes out as vendor payouts. But we also have technician costs that also drives profits even lower. Obviously, there's a bunch of good tools to automate, starting from open source tools like Shuffle and Roost and others. But it's almost impossible to fully automate the entire processes. And these two kind of expenses that we see are kind of what drive MSP margins low. So on the one hand, we see the vendor payouts, the reselling costs. On the other hand, we see the technician salaries and 9 to 5 support or 24/7 support, whatever you guys provide. And what I could see, and that's even started back at my previous company, is that some of the MSPs that I was working with, they were selling services, they were selling outcomes, and their clients, they definitely cared about which vendor commercial tools they were using, but at the end, they just wanted things to work. So I saw a lot of MSPs starting switching off to open source, and for that specific products, they could increase their margins to almost 100%. So what I did after leaving my previous company, I took 7 months and I conducted a very deep research. One, whether MSPs are willing to adopt open source, and second, is there enough open source tools in the market that are mature enough, they're VC backed, etc., that can create an entire IT and security stack that can be orchestrated. We'll talk about this in a second, but it can also be orchestrated with AI or automation tools, but everything will be pre-baked under a single platform. So these two topics that we talked about before, vendor payouts and labor costs, are kind of what drives this entire discussion of what we're talking about here. Vendor payouts should be reduced with the open source tooling that we conducted the research and we have them integrated into a single product. And on the other hand, AI automation that can not decrease the amount of people you guys have on the team, but have your team support more, or have your SLA and service level that you provide to your customers to be more consistent, to be better, etc. The entire research is what we released as OpenMSP. So in OpenMSP, you can see the entire 19 different categories, what we see MSPs most commonly use, what are the commercial tools that are available there, and what are the open source replacement that can be used. It's obviously kind of similar to, regular software listing websites, so you can browse and check out, etc. But you can also create your own stack and then create an AI-generated report that will tell you, okay, using this backup solution, you might consider that. And that's a complete community platform that is not related in any way to our commercial operation. All of you guys are invited to join and generate your own report. Two interesting elements that we added in OpenMSP is one of the factors that helps us rank which open source tools are the best ones is how much you guys discuss it on Reddit MSP communities. So we have impact score on OpenMSP, which tells us, okay, in subreddit MSP, this product is being discussed a lot, then we increase we increase the score of that open source tool alongside how much this tool is being contributed on GitHub. So for every tool that we add to OpenMSP, we scrape the GitHub account that holds the source code of this project, and we create another scoring. So these two factors are what helps us prioritize and rank the best open source tools and provide you guys with the best recommendation. You also have a way, like if you don't want to, like even if you don't want to use OpenFrame and you don't want to have our SaaS offering or anything similar, you can still go there and use it. There is also an option to have self-hosted deployment that is managed inside of OpenMSP. So if you'll go to something like Authentic, you will see there Elastio link. Elastio is a service that help people deploy and manage open source tools in a just like a regular SaaS. So you can go ahead and do that even if you're not planning on using OpenFrame. Cool. So so we've been teasing you guys a lot about OpenFrame and the wait, like we have a huge wait list now, etc. And this is kind of our time to go out and kind of show you guys what we've been working on. So OpenFrame, in a nutshell, it's a unified platform to manage multiple open source tools under the hood. Meaning that if now you have very good RMM tool that is open source, and you have a very good remote access control tool that is open source, and you have MDM tools that are open source and zero trust, etc. It's nice, but no one expects you guys to go and duct tape everything, manage the logging, manage the automation, manage the API, build the dashboard, etc. And that's exactly what OpenFrame does. OpenFrame is a unified layer on top of existing open source tools designed for MSPs. You are our target audience. We don't target it for enterprise. We don't go after Fortune 500 companies. We go after MSPs. So we talked about security before, and that's a huge topic when we talk about open source. I come from a cybersecurity company, so I also understand a bunch of the concerns and the threats that exist in open source. And that's why we took kind of a very strict approach on how we're going to integrate those open source tools. Every open source tools, and right now we talk about 3 open source tools that we already integrated into OpenFrame and is part of the beta launch. Every open source tools that we use, we fork the code, we code scan it, so we have our own version of the project. We obviously scan the source code. We compile the binaries on our own. So I know that you guys probably familiar with the stories about tactical RMM trying to do fishy stuff on client's computer. It's not going to happen with us. We compile our own binary. We sign the binaries. And the client server communication is secured with our own access token. We do not rely on tactical RMM, on Mesh Central, or whatever token authentication mechanism that they use. We enforce our own. The product is designed to have 3 generations, and each generation incorporates a bigger decrease in the vendor payouts that we want to help you guys cut. The first generation is the most impactful tools. We'll talk exactly later about how we built it, but it's the most impactful ones that are the most basic for MSP. You guys can't run your business without RMM. There are certain stuff in the stack that we will never be able to replace with open source. We can't replace Office 365 or Google Workspace. For that specific cases, we're going to build integrations. And from my discussions with the few MSPs that already deploy the software, we're definitely going to need to have a much larger integration efforts in the future. Nice part about the deployment is that it's a single client. So let's say that you guys want to install both Zero Trust, RMM, and MDM. You just deploy the OpenFrame client. He do all the hard work behind the scene. He makes sure that those agents are running. So you don't have to run 10 different dashboards, make sure that everything is running, etc. Everything is under single control plane. What I'm showing you guys right now is OpenFrame Core. It's the tooling piece. This is completely open source. Okay, so if you guys want to go to GitHub and check it out, we're going to be out on the 28th, and we're still wrapping up some of the README files, etc., on the GitHub repository. But if you want to self-host it, we even provide CLI, OpenFrame CLI, that will allow you to self-host the tooling piece. We also provide it for free until the end of January on our cloud infrastructure, and the pricing is going to be per device pricing. We still are not 100% sure about how much it's going to cost. This is part of the beta. We want to figure out the pricing in a way that doesn't kill your unit economics. So part of our goal in the beta is figuring out both OpenFrame core, which is the tooling piece, and the API tokens for the AI piece. Vlad, do you think it would make sense to stop here and give questions, or should we
Yeah,
go
yeah.
all
I
the
mean,
way through?
I think yeah, we can run a few questions. I think the guys and girls have a few. So if you guys have a few questions, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
All
So I
right.
see. So it's the questions I see on the chat, or there is a dedicated Q&A?
No, no, it's in the webinar chat. Yeah. So if any of you guys have questions, just write them in the webinar chat. So first question from Kyle. So any tool can be added on OpenMSP. They are not all tools that have to be open source, more of a stack research tool / research.
So OpenMSP is something we give to the community. It's not like you can filter in OpenMSP. If you go to vendors and you're going to filter by OpenFrame selected, this is kind of our idea on what we want to integrate into OpenFrame, but it's not like 100%. Like, it's not set in stone. We're probably going to have a lot of different changes along the way and different things. We do not allow you to select the tools that you're going to add. We pre-selecting them, and then it's already integrated, because the work of integrating a product, as you saw already, security, cloning it, forking it, like all this hard work is not something we can support for 20 million, like for a lot of tools. We have to work very hard to do that. Okay. So yeah, so back to your question, OpenMSP is definitely a research tool and software exploration tool more than anything else. Is MDR as XDR, MDR, zero trust module will be included in the first gen? No, it's the second gen. MDR specifically, it's even the third gen. The services part, we're kind of pushing it down the road. Like, we want to focus on the product first and make sure that everything works as expected, and then maybe go and start delivering services for you guys. Can we bring our own AI API keys? That's a great question. We'll talk in a second about the AI piece. We're probably gonna allow, it's not gonna be on the upcoming version, because right now we're kind of tailoring the AI to work with a specific LLM model, but down the road, we're definitely gonna provide both, allowing you to have your own AI API key, plus deploying the services that are associated with AI service locally. So if you guys really need to self-host and you don't want to go with the cloud, we will even be able to give it to you with the AI version. Let's see, Chris question. So this is strictly a tool management platform. This is not PSA RMM tool it's itself, correct? I'm not like you. Like, you have RMM and basic PSA capabilities even today in the product. So we'll show a demo in a second. So you will. I hope it will answer your question, Chris. Awesome stuff. Thanks. Well, we're interested in beta. Vlad, you have a bunch of alpha
Yeah, I got
users here.
for those that are interested in the alpha, the beta is coming very soon, and stick around until the end. We have a little bonus for you guys, so that you can get access sooner rather than later. I know a lot of people are interested, so we're trying to do it gradually. But yeah, just or alpha beta related questions, let's just leave them to the end.
Yeah, but we can Chase and Leo, we're gonna prioritize you guys for the beta batches. We're gonna launch the product in batches. Is there PSA to go with this? Our plan is to build our own PSA based on the chat that I will show in the next slide. I'll totally get this OpenFrame side. So is this Flamingo MSP that you're? Yeah, that's Flamingo MSP that Vlad has been running crazy with the advertising. Got some fire and got some good feedback, but yeah, it's Flamingo MSP. Exactly. Would you be able to modify the stack per client? if modify the stack means that we're gonna have be able to switch and pick and choose the open source tools that are under the hood, then probably not. If you mean to modify the stack with APIs and things like that, we have full bidirectional API available even on the alpha version. So whatever pulling, pushing data you want to do, it's definitely available. Hebrew support. Okay, that's an interesting feature. I'm gonna need the access, fellows. Okay, another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Great.
so
Okay,
I think we can continue with the
jump it
presentation
a
and
bit.
then leave the questions.
Okay. Okay, jumping a bit ahead of what's been demoed so far, but will there be a self-hosted cloud backup capability? Definitely on the next version. Answer live. Okay, done. Nice. Okay, so I think we covered all the questions. So far we talked about the tooling piece. We'll talk in 2 more slides on exactly what's coming out in the different generations of the product. But let's talk a bit about the AI. The AI piece is 2 AI agents that we're building. One of them is already live, and the other one is still in works. So we have end user side chat called Faye. Faye has pre-baked access to all the tools that are part of OpenFrame, meaning that if we have in the system tactical RMM, if we have in the system fleet MDM, if we have remote access, she can do almost everything that those tools can do without you being part of the process. So if someone's computer is running slow and you need to query the task list and you need to figure out exactly what's wrong there, she can do it without interfering you guys. She's right now still in view mode, meaning that she's not going to kill a process. She's not going to deploy a software. She's not going to do all of that. She's just going to query and give it to you to handle. But in the next few weeks, we're gonna release a feature called AI security guardrails. So you will be able to determine which capabilities of Pay can be executed automatically, which one requires user approval, and which one require technician approval. And that's the first AI agent. We talked before about PSA. Our goal is to have Faye as kind of the portal to open tickets, either through chat, but we're also going to have form in the future. So if anyone wants to open a form, he can do that. Open a ticket with a form, he can also do that. With Faye, we will demo it in a second, so you guys will see it better. And that leads me to the second AI agent called Mingo. Mingo is the technician side agent, while Faye has access only to the device that the client is currently talking from. Mingo is a completely limitless and doesn't have any capability limitation whatsoever. Is the AI that you guys can use. So if you want to query RMM in a unified manner, if you want to query Microsoft API, etc., you can talk to Mingo and he can execute stuff. He can do that on a large scale. He's not only on a single device, and he can also receive approval request from Faye. So let's say that Faye has noticed that there's some suspicious process running on a specific endpoint. She will escalate it to Mingo. Mingo will ask you guys, what should they do? We'll tell you, do you want to enforce organization-wide policy that will block this type of processes? And once you guys hit approve, then he goes ahead and deploy it organization-wide. Let's take some more questions now. Okay. I'm in Canada. I need data to reside in Canada. Yeah, so you can definitely go with the self-hosted version. The self-hosted version will be available starting off the 28th next week. Can you teach Faye certain actions or manually fine-tune existing? She will auto-learn from your activities in the system. I assume we can customize Faye so that the look and feel can match our branding. We thought that we made Faye pretty nice to have on people's desktops, but probably down the road we will also be able to customize. can Faye and Mintel interact properly? Yeah, we're using a technology called NUTS. Actually, the developer of this technology is here on the call. Yeah, so they can discuss between each other, mostly on an approval process, meaning that Faye will ask approval from the technician. It will go through Mingo. Mingo will get the approval, and he will ask the technician to either approve or decline it. There is also ability to take charge. It's not available right now because we're still building Mingo, but there will also be a option to take charge of the chat if she completely messes up. And yeah, let's continue. So we've been discussing a lot about the roadmap. So Gen 1, we build a roadmap in a way that takes in account three different factors. One, how impactful is the combination of this tool with AI is? Obviously, when you have AI that can run terminal commands on an endpoint, this is super powerful. That's why we started with RMM. Second was how costly is it for you guys? If it's very expensive, then we'll prioritize it first. And third, how much open source projects are mature to handle those to replace those tools. Unfortunately, for example, backups, I would be happy to backup and disaster recovery. I'd be happy to push it first because I know it's one of the first things that MSPs are using, but we're pushing it forward because we couldn't really find good open source tools that do backups. Like you have Bacula and you have Proxmox and you have others, but we couldn't find something that is really, really robust. And we hope to find it by Gen 2, which is going to be starting to work on January. So you can see here more or less what we're gonna release in the short future. So we have MDM, RMM, remote access, user management, and unifying dashboard. On the commercial version, we have Faye, the PSA chat I'm going to show in a second. We have a support chat on the website, on the platform. So if you guys have any problems, you can contact us. An important thing to mention that I didn't say before, this is like when you deploy your customers to OpenFrame, the servers that you guys are using are completely segregated. You're not sharing the databases, you're not sharing your microservices, anything with other customers. So starting from security to performance, you're not affected by other customers. Coming out soon, I mentioned this before, Mingo, the technician side chat, Azure SSO, so you guys will be able to log into OpenFrame with Azure AD and custom AI guardrails. This is kind of the capabilities to block or ask approval or not ask approval for Faye. In terms of the next generation, so actually IM was supposed to go out on this version. We were working with a product called Authentic, but we just prioritized the AI, so it got pushed to the next generation. Backup, VPN, and Zero Trust. We want to extend the PSA that we have pretty basic PSA today, so we want to extend it. And Office 365 and Google Apps integration directly to Faye and Mingo, meaning that we're probably not going to build a very nice dashboard that will replace Office 365 or Google Apps, but you guys are going to take your API keys for Office 365, put them with us, and then the AI would be able to go out with API and collect information and deploy all sorts of actions against Office 365 or Google Workspace. Yeah, this is the Gen 3. Obviously, we're still adding, removing stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. If you wanna influence the roadmap, and if you wanna we also release our entire roadmap, and you're gonna have upvote and downvote. But if you wanna influence the roadmap more, you can join OpenMSP, and we're mostly available there. Okay, I'll take questions again. I assume you can custom. Oh yeah. Can Flamingo interact? Very interested in how security is going to be implemented around AI. Okay, that's a very good question. So Chase asked, very interested in how security is going to be implemented around AI interactions. So what we're going to do is we're going to have each of the APIs. So we're using technology called LangChain to build a chat. In LangChain, you can define tools, and in each tool can be execute script. Now, obviously, in execute script, there are things that you can exploit execute script to do malicious stuff with, but there's also a bunch of stuff that can't really do harm. So what we're doing now is that we're mapping out any sort of functionality with PowerShell, CMD. If we talk about Mac, then terminal commands. We map all of them, including the sub commands inside of it. For example, rm minus rf slash user slash desktop is fine, but rm minus rf slash is probably not okay because it will delete your entire computer. So we're building the security guardrails in a way that creates those activities and what goes into the activities as an output and map them into capabilities. And you as MSP, you will have pre-baked security policies that you will be able to incorporate, but you will also be able to create your own customized security policy and really go to the very granular level and say, I don't want any user to run to download files with PowerShell. Like I don't want Faye to download the files with PowerShell. I don't want Faye to install Adobe Reader, but she can install Photoshop. So that's going to be kind of how we going about it, if that makes sense. Is there a risk that Faye get poisoned from external and by proxy poison Mingo? So the only interaction between Faye and Mingo is through a process of approval. Faye asks for approval from Mingo. Mingo goes to the technician and he can type yes or no. Will Gen IM and Gen MDM replaces MS premium licenses for MS users and device management? That's a good question. Currently, our MDM capabilities are probably lacking versus Intune. So we're still working to completely displace it. But the end goal, yes, the end goal is that you guys will be able to spare whatever licenses that you're using with Microsoft. Smart Surprise, don't find this great, and don't stick to Sunday. Okay, thank you. Authentic is nice. Yeah, Authentic is a good solution. There are newer ones. So sort of a SIP hybrid multi-tenant. So if you talk about SIP in terms of the integration of Google Apps and Google and Office 365, we're not trying to build a very complicated dashboard that will help you do what SIP is doing. It's kind of more on the allowing the AI to do Mandiant stuff that people do on their own today. For example, group policies and things like that. So rather than the technician going ahead and do it using SIP or using Office 365, then he will be able to do it directly through the chat. Okay, I'll take last question. Is there a version where we can have our branding logo on customer-facing side? Yeah, that's the second time we got this question, Tabitha. So yeah, we're probably gonna have to build it if you guys are asking for it. No worries, Tabitha. That's fine. By the way, I still owe you an access code, Tabitha. Okay, so development roadmap. So we established the company back in May 24. We raised $2.2 million. We started to roll up alpha around almost 2 weeks ago. And on October 24, we're sending out the first beta batch. So we got around 1,000 MSPs on a wait list right now. We don't want to send it to the entire list because we want to make sure that the quality is good and we don't jump ahead. So we're splitting into batches. So we got the product out for some alpha users. I think I saw Eric here. Yeah, Eric, thank you for being helpful. And also Sean and a bunch of others. We're gonna send out the first beta batch on this Friday. We're launching the company, so you guys probably gonna see us on the news on October 28th. And the product's gonna be completely free until the end of January, which is the beginning of February 25. and we're gonna completely complete Gen 1. I expect that we even be able to push some more functionalities even before, and then we're gonna start rolling up Gen 1 and Gen 2 and Gen 3. Sorry. So, okay, good. So before we finish, let me, do we have time for, we have time for a quick demo. Okay, so we're gonna run a quick demo now.
I think that's what everyone wanted to see, so.
Yeah. Okay, one sec.
By the way, if your guys' news feeds get spammed with ads from us, I'm sorry in advance, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
So how do we share? Wait, I'm kind of struggling with stop share. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Vlad, can you see my
Yeah,
screen? Okay.
you're good. You're good. Yep.
Okay, good. So that's the main screen of OpenFrame. In order to register, if you have an access key, you just go here. You put your MSP name and then your domain name. So if your company is called MSP Tech, then you put it here, and this is MSP Tech. And then you fill up the details here, and you're going to get an access code from us. So you'll put this here. It will, once you're going to start a free trial, it will drive you back to the previous screen, and then you will be able to log in. So the first screen shows you all of your underlying organizations. For us, organizations are the underlying clients that you guys serve. So for example, here I added two test organizations, University Credit Union and Miles Car Central. Once you're going to have devices deployed, you're able to choose the organization that this device belongs to, and then it will get injected into the PowerShell or terminal command for Mac, and then this device will be tattooed already with the organization that you have. So this is kind of my device. This is my Windows machine that I have. So you guys can see that there is a bunch of data about the machine, hardware data, network security, things like disk encryption. If the encryption key is available, you will see it here. So a lot of information. The nice part about it, and this is kind of what talked about before, is that once our agent gets integrated, we deploy under the hood a bunch of other clients. Again, it's not the vanilla versions of the open sources, meaning that we don't use the Mesh Central binaries as they're being compiled. With Mesh Central, we create our own compiled version of all of those tools, including tactical, including fleet, including everything. So let's say that in the future, we're going to add Zero Trust. You're just going to see here another box saying whatever open source tool that we're going to use for Zero Trust. You can see users, you can see software inventory, you can see vulnerabilities. This is a virtual machine, so it makes sense that VMware Tools has some vulnerabilities. In terms of scripting, so we have the tactical RMM scripting library. You can also add your own script. We support all the script types. Even if you don't have Python deployed on the machine, you can still use it. We come bundled with Python, with Deno, with No. So if you need to run operating, like if you need to run a cross operating system, you can definitely do that. If you want to execute some script, you can just come here, select the scripts that you want, and then it will be available under the logs. And that's kind of bring me to another nice part about the system. All the tools, we hook directly into the databases of the open source tools. We pull the information, we unify it into a single data fabric, and we push it into our own unified log engine. So logs from Fleet will be pushed into OpenFrame just as much as Mesh Central log will be pushed, and just as much as tactical RMM tools will get pushed. All of them, as you see here, we're very, very API driven. If you guys want to pull the information from us using API, you can definitely do that. I will show in a second how to do it. But you can see here, this is a get process. So this is kind of the scripting side. If we go back here, we have a small bug, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this, but we have a small bug with online offline. Kirill is working hard to fix it. Okay, so let's go to some more of the capabilities. Yeah, so we're utilizing Mesh Central for remote access tool. We currently this will look much better next week. Right now we support only CMD for Windows, but next week you will also be able to choose between PowerShell, CMD, etc., and get instant access to the device. We also have a remote control. Remote control here. We're working on some enhancements for the remote control. Yeah, never demo live. The remote control still needs to have some more QA on it, and you can also run script directly from here. So you get it instantly. Here. In terms of before I go to the AI, I kind of want to cover some more capabilities we have on the settings. So as I said before, if you guys run the self-hosted version, you will be able to even access the underlying tools. So if you guys want to access Fleet MDM underlying dashboard, you can, and this is only on the self-hosted version, because our cloud managed version is completely segregated from the outside internet. The only entry point is us. So if you want to play around with the self-hosted version and see the underlying tools that we're utilizing, you can definitely do that. You can invite more users. We're also going to add support for you guys to send invites to your clients, and once they will log into OpenFrame, they will see only their devices. So if you guys work with an IT admin in some system, you will be able to give them access. API key, so you can create an API key here. We have pretty extensive API documentation. So you can check it out here.
Michael, there are a couple of questions. 3 people basically asked the same question. So Kevin asks, are you screening businesses that sign up? Don't want bad actors to pollute a budding good thing.
Wait, let me read it.
Yeah, I'm not even sure exactly what you meant.
Yeah, there's a bunch of maybe just let me finish the settings.
Sorry.
We can't. Yeah, we have the Google SSO here, so we're already supporting Google SSO. You just need to put the client ID and the client secret, and then once you're gonna log into the system, you're gonna be prompted not only with OpenFrame SSO but also with Google SSO. And next week it's almost ready. We just need to release it. We're also gonna add Azure AD here. Okay, let me take some questions now. And Flamingo, very interested in health security. Okay. Which question are we talking about, Vlad?
So, what Kevin Sitma said, are you screening businesses that sign up? Don't want bad actors to pollute a budding good thing.
I think Vlad, you can answer that, right?
I mean,
We
screen every single MSP. So before anybody even joins, our waitlist and stuff, we screen them. We do deep research. We find out who they are. That's why some of you guys only left your email, and then Michael magically messaged you on LinkedIn, even though you never brought up your LinkedIn. We do a lot of deep research before we allow anyone into the actual into the product, essentially. So, yeah.
Fire the original. What development resources are being put into Mesh Central maintenance? So first, I just want to I want to make sure, if there would be open source tools that won't be maintained anymore by the community, we either gonna replace them or we're gonna start maintaining them on our own. Okay, and I hope it's not going to happen with a lot of tools because we don't have millions of dollars to spend on everything. But if we're utilizing something, we're definitely going to contribute and fix bugs. And we actually extended the team that is handling Mesh Central. Brian, hopefully Rust Desk replaces it. Whoever wished to test Rust Desk, I know it looks better and I know it's more modern, but I encourage you guys to do research. And don't want a bunch of bad actors, hacker to sign up and have bad internet things. Yeah, that's true. We screen every MSP, and we even screen in a more scrutinized manner all alpha and beta. Like we probably know personally all the alpha users and most of the, at least the first beta testers that we have in the product. Okay, Kyle asked a question. How do we get an access code? Did I miss it on the sign up window? No, you didn't miss out anything. You just need to be part of the waitlist. If you want to be earlier, just reach out to me or to Vlad, and we will be able to push you on a more prior batch.
Cohort. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's let me show you guys the. Any other questions? No. Earlier for me.
David,
Okay.
I got you. Yeah.
Okay, good. So now let's touch a bit more about the AI and the PSA stuff. So kind of our way to go about the PSA is that, and I will show you how it looks once the client gets deployed. Okay, so that's what happens when the clients get deployed. So we have here tray icon of OpenFrame chat, and you guys gonna have this. We're gonna add in the future also form that allows you to open a traditional ticket. So it will be available as part of our desktop client. Okay. Now Faye, currently, as I said before, she's running only on a view mode. But let's try to ask her some questions and see how she replies. Okay, so you see that she already starting with executing some commands. We talked about security before and AI guardrails. Right now, she can execute only view commands, but she can conclude things based on the commands. And once she get this up and running, we can also go back to the dashboard. And if I will refresh it, you will see that you have a new ticket here. And the ticket generation is also AI driven. So we take whatever the user started to say with his first few messages and we create it as the ticket. And then you will be able to see here everything that she did. As I said before, Mingo is still on process. But once he's going to be available, you will also be able to consult with him about the same ticket and even take charge of Faye and kind of like escalate it and put her aside. You can resolve the ticket here or you can put it on hold. We're going to keep on adding more stuff. I will show you more here. So you see that she executed both tactical RMM. So she tried to get the process. She got some Adobe processes. Then she ran another query with Fleet MDM. But as time goes by, we will. You want to hide this. As time goes by, she's just going to have more and more capabilities. So imagine that once we get something like IAM and Zero Trust already deployed inside of OpenFrame, and some of your users is asking to install a software and you just want to give him a permission for like 10 minutes, have him install and then revoke the permission, she can take care of the entire process. She can ask you to provide admin rights for a certain period of time, get your approval, go back to the customer, allow him to install it, or even she can install it instead of him using Chocolati or other software, and then take the ticket back and completely resolve it. All of the you guys probably already have some other workflows in mind, but there is almost nothing, like if you combine enough tools into Faye, there is almost nothing that she can do in terms of help desk. So yeah, so that's, and I will go back to the screen here. So our way to go about the PSA is kind of this. We're going to keep on adding more capabilities into it. I know it's very basic right now, but we're just going to keep on expanding it. And I think that with Mingo, it's even going to be much more impressive and much better. Yeah, but I think that's pretty much it. Anyway, if you probably a bunch of you guys already with us on the Slack community. If you wanna, our new website is flamingo.run. We will release through the press release. We're gonna release our Flamingo stack, our GitHub account. And if you want to contact us, you can contact hello@flamingo.run, or join OpenMSP, or join the community, or whatever. That's pretty much it. So I'm gonna take some more questions now. Is it possible to hide std out from user to keep it simple? We actually had it hidden, and we got it exposed, but yeah, we can definitely hide it. If someone self-host, will updates be available? Yes. Our self-hosted version is running with Argo CD and Kubernetes. So anytime we will launch a new version of our Helm charts, your environment's immediately going to get deployed. My question during the last break was missed, I think. Okay, you can ask again, Peter. What was your question? Yes, projects are being forked. Yeah, projects are being forked, and client server authentication is overridden by our authentication mechanism. If someone self-host, yeah, we talked about this. My question during the last break: how will data portability work? Gura, if you can elaborate more on your question, that will be great. Peter, I hope you heard my question. The projects are forked. For self-host version, will the agent be signed? That's yeah, they're gonna be signed. We have plans to add our agent to Chocolati and Homebrew. Will Faye eventually be able to manage complex tasks like Outlook, etc., troubleshooting, and Mingo things like troubleshooting mail migration using available MSKBs or Scout public forms? Both Faye and Mingo are already able to scout public forms. So the way LangChain works is that it has a way to go out to the public internet, and also in the same time keep segregated data that he collects and keep it in his context without mixing the two. That is, repo is closed, abandoned, or compromised. There is some buffer. Yes, we never. Peter asked, that if some repo is closed, abandoned, or compromised, there is some buffer before we potentially affects our deployment. Also, is being given back to the projects or maintainers. Yes, we've worked in a way that the maintainers can pull our code, and we can pull their code. It doesn't mean that we pull their code as soon as a new version is out. We always wait. We always make sure that it's safe. So, for example, our version of Tactical RMM is probably a version that was out like 6 months ago or something. Example, new Microsoft patch coming out. Public feedback is bad. Things broken. Mingo, Pulse auto patch deployment until. Yeah, it sounds like an interesting use case. I will need to kind of look more into it. Awesome, thanks. Is bring self-hosted to, yeah, is bring self-hosted to cloud, or cloud to self-hosted to avoid vendor I'm not sure I understand. It's
Saying bring
if
self-hosted to cloud.
no, it's this can't really be done.
So we
Okay,
have Stuart
yeah.
that wants to, I guess he wants to talk. So Stuart, I'll give you the microphone if you want to ask your question. So you should be able to talk now if you wish. Stuart Urban. Or
I
if you
think
don't want
you're
to talk, you can always ask the question in the chat. But I unmuted you.
Hey,
Maybe it
sorry
was
about
the
that.
ideas. Oh, there you go. Go ahead.
I accidentally raised my hand.
Okay. No, no
no
worries.
worries.
All right. Uh,
Okay, cool. I think we covered all questions now.
uh, looks like, yeah.
Okay,
Looks
cool.
like if guys, if we missed your questions, we have like more minutes here, so just write them in the chat. But if you don't have any questions, so yeah, we're again, as Michael said, we're releasing the beta in batches. So if you do want access to the beta, just message me on OpenMSP Slack or email me at vlad@flamingo.cx. I'll write it in the chat here saying you want access, and I will add you to the next cohort. And as we release them, you will get basically access in an email with the access code as soon as it's available. So that's the email where you guys can hit me up or OpenMSP Slack community as well. So just one of those options, and I'll make sure to add you to the next cohort as they're coming out here very, very soon. So
Okay, I think there are more questions. On the self-hosted version, will we have the ability to integrate our own tools? Yes, of course. You can do whatever you want on the self-hosted version. You can even fork our project and change it. Self-deployed, containerized, distro snap or binaries. Distro snap or binaries. So right now, every release releases the Helm, releases all the images that we use, releases the binaries, the CLI libraries, and the client libraries. Everything is obviously containerized. We mentioned before that the changes we've done to some of the open source tools that we're using, some of them didn't have a way to Dockerize, to containerize them. So we did that, and we also built the Helm charts, and we also published them completely for free. So they're available on our GitHub repository, and we encourage the maintainers to take our Helm charts and utilize them for their own sake. Is there any plans to be able to add context for AI understanding or training first client-specific line of business application? Yeah, so that's a very good question, Chase. We're going to keep on fine-tuning the AI. Right now, once a user opens the chat, I'm with Chase. Okay. Once the chat is being opened, we inject a lot of the information about the device and user that started the discussion into the RAG of LangChain. So he already has some information about it, but we can definitely also push information about the business. Clients use has to be siloed. Yes, so the AI service is part of the segregated deployment. The AI service that runs the LangChain and pulls the data, including the databases, are not part of the shared tenant in any way. It's your servers. Chase, I would imagine that would have involved documentation tool. Okay. Okay, so maybe it's one last question. It's 429. So Mingo and Faye, what they learn from single client? No. What they learn from a single client won't be sharing. Leo, when you talk about when you talk about a client, you talk about a client inside of a single MSP tenant, or you talk about two different MSPs? No, it's not like when you open a chat with Faye, the information Faye has and the permissions that Faye has can only be accessed to your specific device. Okay, Mingo is not available to any of your customers, and Mingo is your tool to have bigger scope and bigger permissions. But only you can access it. No one else. You as the MSP owner or technician can access it. But no, the two different clients. Like if you would go on a certain device and you would ask Faye about another client of the MSP, she's not going to know who it is. Yeah, exactly what Eric said. Faye is the customer facing only, and Mingo is the tech facing. Exactly. Okay, good. I hope it was productive for everyone. Maybe Vlad, you want to conclude?
Yeah. Guys, thank you all for coming to the webinar. We got still 53 people sticking around to the end, which is super awesome. So that means you guys are very interested in what we're building, and it's great to see. Once again, if you want the beta access, you know where to message me, either OpenMSP or hit me up via email. We will definitely be doing more of these in the near future. Not exactly sure how or when, but I think these types of things are super cool for us, and you guys seem to like them. So yeah, thank you all for coming. This has been really cool. Any follow-up questions, feel free to email me or Michael or hit us up in Slack. And yeah, guys, thank you again for coming. This was super fun.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Peace.